A creative corridor forms in Jacksonville Beach this weekend for the fourth annual Women Arts Collective Festival. Here to tell us about a first time collaboration with other groups is Emily Cargill. She's director of the contemporary performance group Emily Cargill and Dancers and the founder of the Women Arts Exchange. Emily, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're also joined by Jacksonville Mayor Chris Hoffman, Jacksonville Beach Mayor Chris Hoffman, also the executive director of the Beaches Museum. Chris, nice to see you.
Good morning.
And Bradley Akers, managing director of Players by the Sea. Hey, Bradley.
Hey.
So, Emily, this is the fourth annual Women Arts Exchange, but it's the first time you're doing it with other partners. What made you want to bring in these other groups to participate?
Yeah, well, it's really exciting when you see artistic partnerships in the community. That's kind of the overarching platform of the Women Arts Exchange, at the bare bones. So as I was kind of creating my ideal world for this year, Bradley and I did a performance last year. I was in his space. I've been to the Beaches Museum numerous times to see friends in their art shows, and it just kind of clicked. And I was like, these two organizations are just cornerstones of artistic excellence in, honestly, the city, not just the beaches, but the city of Jacksonville. So I honestly just sent out an email and said, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to be involved? This is what it is. And I mean, honestly, they were both like, sign me up. This sounds like an awesome experience.
There is a natural relationship there just in terms of proximity, Chris. For people who aren't familiar with the participating organizations, describe just that little area and how it all fits together.
Sure. I joke about the Beaches Museum. It's that big yellow building you've driven past a million times, but maybe have never been in. So we're always looking for opportunities to provide quality programming to really get people in the doors of the museum. But we have a 2-block history park as well. So we have historic buildings, and what a lot of people recognize us for is the locomotive out front. But we have this beautiful park, and then kind of at the other end of the park is our friends at Players by the Sea. So we're really trying to establish that as kind of an arts and culture corridor for Jacksonville Beach, and it's working out beautifully as we're going to see this weekend with the wax events.
And Bradley, how are you participating in this weekend's events? What's going to be on offer there, and how are you sort of coordinating with the folks at the museum and with Emily?
Sure. So Players by the Sea is going to be home of the Move part of the festival, which is the contemporary dance performances, which is so exciting to see our space be activated in a way that our patrons and our community may not be used to. But we're also going to feature some monologues through the park in between the museum and the theater. So it's sort of like this blend of, as folks leave the museum, which is where the fine and visual arts are, they'll start to move through an immersive performance installation through this beautiful, beautiful history park, and they'll end at Players by the Sea. So it's been great. Chris and I have been trying to make sure we can establish this arts and culture corridor, and we keep saying, we need to make this happen. We need to make this happen. So this event being sort of the impetus of what's going, I think, to be a beautiful beginning to this new experience for everyone.
And Emily, you mentioned sort of the instinct that you've always had to bring together artists and collaborative efforts, but also a focus on women. It's Women's History Month. And so the visual artists are going to be women on display. That exhibit stays up, I think, for several weeks. But the dance component, the performance component, is just this weekend.
Yes. Well, actually, at the museum is offering their home to 5 selected artists for the duration of March through a little bit of April. And then just for the wax weekend, there's about 20 local visual female artists on display just through the weekend. And then people travel through. And then the dance festival is just Friday, Saturday.
Okay. And so if people want to attend, we mentioned the location, but how do people participate in each different part of the offerings?
Well, if you go to waxandjacks.com, which is our website, you can look at the whole lineup, get tickets there, and your ticket cost covers all of the events. So you show your ticket at the door at the museum, which is where it begins at 6:30, kind of have a little bit of time there, travel through the history garden, and then just kind of mosey right to the Players by the Sea, and all costs are covered under your ticket price.
And then that performance is sort of 8 to 9:30 at the Players by the Sea area. Is that, or is it ongoing?
Yes,
Okay.
8 to 9:30. We have about 7 choreographers participating, both local artists and also companies from up and down the East Coast. So they're in town for one weekend only. So if you want to come see, I mean, truly world-class dance, this is where you got to be.
And Chris, how is Jacksonville Beach doing generally in terms of promoting its arts lineup and its offerings as a distinct identity?
Sure. I think we've seen a lot of progress in Jacksonville Beach. From the city-wise, we have so much more public art. We have murals and sculptures, and really leaning in on using our public spaces for music and other performances. So we have a few organizations out at the beach that are actually part of the Cultural Council of Greater Jacksonville grant funding. So when we have the opportunity to partner together to help amplify that programming at the beach, it's just a great thing. So that's why it was such an easy yes when Emily came to us, because being out at the beach, we're a little further afield for some people, but that when we can come together and put together really great programming, not only for our community but for the region and for the county overall, it's a great thing, and it's going to be such a win this weekend for incredible art.
All right. And an opportunity for people to support Players by the Sea, which is still kind of moving back in after its fire. It's waxandjacks.com.